Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing well. So today we have a bit of a comparison video. I have arguably two of the best concealers on the market, and that is NARS Soft Matte Complete and NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. There's always such good things being said about these concealers. It can be really hard to choose between which one you actually want to buy because they're not cheap. They're about £24 each, which is about $30. So it can be a bit of a task knowing which one that you actually want. I'm going to be putting one on each side so you can see an exact comparison, and hopefully that'll help you decide which one is for you. Just a quick overview of the concealers from what is on the NARS website. The Soft Matte is a full coverage, oil-free concealer that blurs and smooths texture whilst concealing dark spots, under eye circles, redness and breakouts. It is also infused with peptides with hyaluronic acid, vitamin A, C and E. The Radiant Creamy Concealer is a medium to buildable coverage with a natural radiant finish, and it is also infused with hydrating multi-action skincare benefits and light diffusing technology. So let's get into the application. You might be able to tell I do already have some foundation on. I've completely avoided my eye area so we can get a really good idea of how much coverage these concealers have. This foundation is the L'Oreal Fresh Wear. I've only done sort of one pump, so we still have some scarring showing through so we can have a bit to play with. I just didn't think it was very fair to have no foundation, as that's never how I do my makeup. I always do concealer over foundation, and that is how I'd want to see how it performs. So that's what we're going to do. I've come in a bit closer so hopefully you can see all texture and stuff a bit better. I think I'm going to do Soft Matte this side and Radiant Creamy this side, just because this spot's quite dry and I want to see how the hydration radiant creaminess of this one performs on some dry, and we do still have some spots to test out. So I'm going to take the Soft Matte concealer just on my Zoeva concealer buffer, and I just take a bit on my brush and put that in the places I want it. This is a lot thicker. It is almost like a paint pot, but I think it still is quite creamy. Like, see how easy I can sort of push it about? When I compare this to any like compact or like stick concealers that I used to try when I was younger, they were always so dry and they didn't blend. And that made me scared to try this because that is the sort of experience I was used to. But yeah, NARS never fails. Just go straight in as well with the Radiant Creamy. This is a difference, the application. It's got a doe foot, so if you don't want to be using a brush or anything, this may be your jam. But you could obviously always go in with your finger with the pot as well. I just didn't. Also, disclaimer, both these concealers are a tiny bit, like a shade too dark for me because I'm very, very pale at the moment. Okay, so to blend these out, I am just going to take my Real Technique sponge. I'm going to use two different sides so we don't mix any of the concealers up. Okay, so let's go straight in with the Soft Matte. Now, as I've been talking, it has sort of set down, which is making it harder to blend, but it is sort of really keeping the coverage there. It definitely is a higher coverage formula. So maybe if you don't want to put in the extra work to blend, don't leave it to set down for ages. Also, the idea that it does set down over time is good for longevity. It means it will last because it will set down to a sort of matte finish in the name. I think it's covered them scarring superbly. You can barely see it. Okay, and now around the eye. Wow, that is so high coverage. And what do you think of the texture? I think it still looks so smooth. It almost doesn't actually look like I've got anything on my skin. So yeah, there's that. I'm going to blend this Radiant Creamy one out because I don't want it to set down like that other one did. Okay, so that one blends out a lot quicker, and that was a good coverage. Yeah, so look, they blend out so quick. It's just a tad too dark for me. Okay, and on that spot, for a medium coverage, that has done amazingly at covering up that spot. Texture-wise, can you see that? So it sort of has smoothed over any of the dry skin and around my eye. Okay, so it definitely has a radiant finish, which the other side doesn't have. And there is still the slightest shadow you can see, but I think it's still acceptable. It is a huge spot. I can't cover it very well at the moment. And I'm very impressed with how it's layered on that dry skin. If you were someone with dry skin, that Radiant Creamy may be your lifesaver. And it looks so smooth. And around the eyes, it does have good coverage. Argue that the soft matte has better coverage, and this one definitely has a sheen. I'm going to set them down just to see what they look like set down. At the moment, if you are someone with dry skin, Radiant Creamy is definitely more your jam, but soft matte does have a high coverage and it's very skin-like. It's sort of just blended into my face. I don't think you can tell I've got concealer on here, whereas I think I can tell I've got concealer on a bit here. And I am a dry skin person, and I don't think the soft matte is accentuating any dry skin, but the Radiant Creamy just feels like it's actually looking after my dry skin. So there's that. Just to set this down, I'm going to take a Zoeva Luxe cheek brush with some Too Faced loose setting powder. Not a lot, I don't think I need a lot. I'm going to go around the eyes first. Now I've set them down, they have a really similar finish, so there's not much to actually say between the two about one being radiant and one being matte. And now I'm just gonna sort of set my face a little bit. I have a fine line under my eyes, and both of them are doing a good job at not creasing into it. So yeah, I think that's my little comparison. Overall, both these concealers are amazing. They will give you a smooth, even appearance. Will have high coverage for both, but I would say soft matte is just that bit more coverage. They do have different finishes if you don't set your face, but if you set your face, there's no difference. The soft matte doesn't get matter, but the radiant one does lose its radiance if you set your face. Overall, if I was to pick between the two, I would say soft matte because I like that just tinsy bit more coverage, and I like the pot application. A lot of the time I like dipping that brush or putting a sponge, and it just is so easy. And it's a little bit different. I feel like I can dupe the Radiant Creamy very easily. If you try Maybelline Fit Me, if you try Collection Lasting Perfection, there's not much difference, and this is over double the price. Whereas this is one of a kind. I have not found something from the drugstore or other brands that sort of beats this formula. I would say if you're trying to pick one of the two, go for the soft matte and pick yourself up a tube concealer like this from the drugstore or Boots or anything like that. But if you were to purchase this, you wouldn't be disappointed. It's not bad, it's just there's lots of other things like it. Yeah, there's one last close up. Soft matte, I think my skin just looks airbrushed if I'm honest, and then Radiant Creamy. I'll have links for both these products in the description, and let me know down in the comments which is your favourite. And don't forget to give this video a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you want to see more from me. I'm uploading videos weekly at the moment, a little bit more than once a week, seeing how I go. And if you want to, you can check me out on Instagram at Time to Put My Face On. I do some product reviews, photography, swatches. It's just fun over there. I just like taking pretty photos of products, so if that is your thing, check me out. Yeah, but that is all, so I'll see you again in the next one. Bye.